We have a new visitor in Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and this is the most difficult visitor to get to date. You're gonna have to play for most of a year before you can unlock this visitor, and you're gonna have to get a whole bunch of other visitors to become permanent residents on your island first, and complete a bunch of quests. This new visitor is Poron. She's another character from the Cinnamoroll universe, and she's been alluded to throughout the game, perhaps even the one behind Cinnamoroll's super fast time-defying travel. Unlocking Poron is going to be a long process. In order to get Poron's visitor requirements, you're going to need to complete a gift for Cinnamoroll. However, this quest requires you to first complete a Place to Art and Cafe Cinnamon Unite. This means you're going to need all of the other Cinnamoroll characters as residents on your island. It means you'll need cocoa, nuts, cappuccino, azuki, espresso, chiffon, and mocha, and have completed all of the quests and quest series associated with them, including Friendship Never Fades, Island Showstoppers, Cinnamon Run Around, Friends from Cafe Cinnamon Part 2, A Little Friendship from Cafe Cinnamon, Friends from Cafe Cinnamon, and the A Day Out for Cinnamoroll Quest series. But to make it easy, let's just say A Place to Art and Cafe Cinnamon Unite, and remember you're going to need all the other friends as permanent residents on your island. At least all the Cinna friends you can get up until now. Of course, there could be more in the future. So once you have this new quest, A Gift for Cinnamoroll, track it and go talk to Cinnamoroll. The quest marker will be this little bow, so you can look for that on your map. And when you talk to him, he says we're gonna need help to find milk, which means we're going to need to invite another of his friends to Friendship Island. And this is where he tells us we need to invite Poron, and that she comes from very, very far away. And she travels with Karun, who lives way up in the clouds. You may also know Karun as Coronet, and he asks us to help find her, so of course we're going to help. And so what he needs from us are blue candles and a ribbon bow, and he gives us the ribbon bow instructions. This kicks off a quest, A Gift for Cinnamoroll, and now we need to get 3 blue candles and a ribbon bow. You can craft the blue candles at the crafting station with 1 blue dye and 5 beeswax. I think one of the Wish Me Mel visitors will also give these as a daily reward. In order to craft the ribbon bow, you're gonna need 15 ribbon. You can find 2 ribbon by the creation station each day. In addition, there is a chest in Merry Meadow that has 10 ribbon in it. You can find it at the base of the beanstalk that goes up to Cloud Island, just before the bridge that goes over to the gazebo. If you still need more ribbon, remember you can use those island bouquets to respawn the 2 ribbon, or you can wait a few days and pick up 2 more each day. Once you have your 15 ribbon, head back to the creation station. In order to craft the ribbon bow, we're going to need 15 ribbon and 5 flowers of the same color. Now remember, you're making this bow for Cinnamoroll, so maybe don't use your rarest, most favorite flowers to make it. I used a 2-color ombre, and you can see that when you do that to make a ribbon, that main color goes in the center, and then the accent color goes on the outsides and actually takes up quite a bit more of the ribbon, but it mimics the placement, the color, and the pattern of the flowers that you use. Because we have the pattern, you'll be able to make more bows in the future as you save up your ribbon. You can see this bow sits on the middle front of my head. It's a little bit big on my duck, and the main color is found in the middle of the ribbon, and then the accent color is on the outside. So if you had a regular ombre, you'd have the color in the middle and then the white on the outside. Once you have your 3 blue candles and your ribbon bow, go and give them to Cinnamoroll. He says they're just the things for Poron, and he'll send them out right away. And he asks us to prepare a cabin for her. He says he didn't plan for all his friends to stay on Friendship Island, but he's so glad they are. This completes the quest, A Gift for Cinnamoroll, and now we'll be able to find Poron's requirements in the Visitor tab. Poron's requirements are some of the most complicated in the game. Poron doesn't have any location requirements, but her item requirements are a bit different than our other characters. In order to obtain these items, you will actually need to have played for about 7 months during the right time of the year, because all of her requirements are event clothing. And unlike the event furniture, you can't get it from Karopi. If you wanted to get the clothing through trading instead of logging into the game, you'd have to make it all the way through the level 13 tasks, and it would take you several months of playing with the same player, doing all the tasks, all of that time for several months before you can even get to the point where you could trade. So definitely think of Poron as a late stage visitor. This is going to be one of the last visitors that you get up until this point, and there's so much else to do in the game, so many other visitors that you have to get before you can get her. There's a pretty good likelihood that you'll be playing during these events anyway as you try to do all of those other things. So the clothing you're going to need is one piece from the Lighttime Jubilee. The first Lighttime Jubilee was held from December 21st through January 10th, so we'll probably see a similar time frame in the future. And like most of the clothing, this comes from that login bonus calendar, so you actually need to log in for enough days for it to unlock. During the first Lighttime Jubilee, you needed to log in at least 4 days before you got the first piece of clothing, so this is another reason to make sure you're logging in regularly during events and keeping an eye on that login bonus calendar. The next piece of clothing you need is from the Hugs and Hearts Festival. The first Hugs and Hearts Festival was held in February from February 8th through the 21st. This is one of those secondary events, so it runs for a shorter period of time, but luckily all you needed to do was log in once during that time period to get a piece of clothing. The third item you need is a piece of clothing from the Color Blaze Carnival. The first Color Blaze Carnival was held March 25th through April 12th, another one of these secondary events, and you needed to log in at least 2 days to get clothing from the event. The next one is the month of May. That was held during the entire month of May, and all you needed to do was log in one time during the month of May to get a piece of clothing. The next piece of clothing you'll need is something from the Paper Parade. The first Paper Parade was held from June 13th through July 1st, and all you needed to do was log in one day during that time frame to get a piece of clothing. And then the final piece of clothing is from the Friendship Festival. This is another shorter secondary event held around the International Day of Friendship and the game's anniversary, with the first one starting on July 25th. So in order to hit all of these requirements, you need to have been playing from January through July and during those special event periods. So this is why we always say you want to be logging in for all of those events, making sure you're getting things off the login bonus calendar and some of the furniture just in case you need it for some of the visitors. And we know that now some of the visitors also unlock quests in the game and additional features, so it really gives you reason to play year-round. In order to place these items in your cabin, you're going to need the clothing stands, those mannequins from My Melody shop. These rotate just like all the other furniture in her shop. You will need 6 of them, so when you do see them in her shop, it's worth stocking up on them so you have it when you need them. In order to use them, go into furniture mode and place down all 6 mannequins, then come out of furniture mode, walk up to a mannequin, and select one piece of clothing to put on it. You'll only be able to add one piece of clothing to each mannequin unless they change this in the future, which they may. Once you have your Lighttime Jubilee, Hugs and Hearts, Color Blaze, Month of Meh, Paper Parade, and Friendship Festival clothing on those mannequins, you also want to make sure you have 5 of Poron's likes in the cabin. Her like tag is the Dreamy tag. It's the one with the little moon and the tiny clouds around it. So these items could be any of the Dreamy items that you can craft, like the Dreamy hologram or the Dreamy lamb plush. Some of the food items also count, like the Starry Skies shake or the clouds that you can make at the Candy Cloud machine. This also includes the Dreamy clothing set, and of course all the Dreamy furniture you can buy with Stardust, including the wallpaper and flooring. So if you put this in a Dreamy cabin and you don't change the walls and floors, you're already up to 2. You can check how many Dreamy items you have in the cabin with that left menu that shows you all of those pluses. You want to fill in that whole row with plus signs. That'll make it more likely that Poron will visit on a given day. Poron is a traveler, just like a lot of the other visitors are, so you'll get that little announcement when she's supposed to be coming on the weekends. Right now, it looks like she has a pretty frequent schedule coming every other weekend, so you want to make sure you set up her cabin as soon as you can to avoid missing one of her travel windows. So hopefully this helps you get ready for Poron, or at least understand what you'll need to do in order to be able to set up her cabin, subscribe for more Hello Kitty Island adventure content. We stream all of the updates, and there are a ton of video guides on the channel for quests, other visitors, critter catching, key features, and more. And check out the shop for game-related designs. Turn on notifications to find out the next time we go live. Hope to see you there.